Welcome back to the show, everybody. We got a great one lined up for you this morning. Listen to some of these headlines. The wealthiest investors have a plan, big plans, in fact, for Bitcoin. We're going to talk about it because we're talking about the level of BlackRock. It doesn't get any bigger than that. Call to action for us all. You'll understand what we're talking about. And Algo, XRP, Swift, and R3, and a CBDC Sandbox. We got a whole host of news on that front. And CEO Circle, Jeremy Allaire, says crypto is about to have a broadband moment. I think we know what that means. No more dial-up, baby. We're going to the next level. Latest update on the SEC versus Ripple. Things are moving very quickly there. You're going to want to know it. And Congress is moving, believe it or not. Shudder to thought. Yeah, we're talking about crypto and a CBDC task force, and we have some interesting testimony for you to hear as well as other news too. So let's go ahead and roll that beautiful intro. Here we go.
This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at @BackupBradleyAbove and everything that we're talking about here today. And make sure you follow us also on Facebook, ladies and gentlemen, because we are now on Facebook in Digital Perspectives News. There is a link in the description in the comment box. Mrs. Backup is running that page for us, and she's doing a great job. And she's got almost all of the content, minus the live shows, loaded up on there so you can see what's going on, as well as all of the current videos daily that come out. So make sure you check that out and hit the like and follow on that. Let's look at the numbers. 1.6 trillion plus for the cryptocurrency space. As you can see, there's a lot of red back in the market because we were at 1.7 plus trillion yesterday. So there's some money that's sold off and left the market in the last 24 hours, bringing us down 6.13 on the cryptocurrency space broadly. Bitcoin now just below 40,000. We know we need to be above it to know that the bottom is in, and stay above it is the trick, right? And the same thing goes on here for XRP at the number 7 spot, courtesy of the dereliction of duty and intimidation tactics and quite possibly collusion. We'll get into that in just a second. Looking at the range of XRP here, we see we're at 84 cents, which was a point of support that was talked about yesterday by Dr. Fender and a couple others. And remember, if the price continues to roll over, then we could see new support marks, support lines touched again in the 70 and 65 cent range. We'll keep an eye on that. But if we get enough of the sell off and we've hit a bottom, we can turn around and start hitting that $98 and above and trying those what were resistance lines and hopefully breaking through them to get them to be support. So we'll keep an eye on it, but here's where we are. A lot of news. Let's see how quickly we can get through this. Hall of Famer Michael Val 5link says several U.S. states, including Texas, Wyoming, and Illinois, are actively vying to attract Bitcoin mining businesses. And we know this, and we've talked about many companies going out and setting up shop in Texas and other places. Nebraska has been a recent state that's also opened up its doors to crypto. Miami and Florida is also another state and area where we're seeing mining crypto be accepted and welcomed. So this is the natural progression of how these things move forward, right? But here's a little article here, and I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but it talks about the world's wealthiest have big plans for Bitcoin and crypto in general, according to Tyler Swope. And this here says, so BlackRock, you can see the narrative forming sustainability on one hand and Bitcoin and cryptocurrency on the other. Although their Bitcoin mining play with Marathon shows these two hands are colliding, and this ties into their upcoming hashing power boost with the new mining machines, moving their machines into Texas to be powered by renewable technology, which would put their operations 70% carbon neutral when it goes live. Now, for me, I think this is exciting because I want to see Bitcoin make it long term, but I also understand the call to action that's been put in play, which is to get them to either renewable or sustainable energy, or to get them to move Bitcoin from proof of work to proof of stake, which I believe would ultimately take it back into the conversation of a security, which I think you can make an argument for even as proof of work, because if you're holding it for a greater value tomorrow than you bought it today, you're hoping you're hoping to gain profits on the backs of others, which the miners of the network. That to me sounds like a security. Now they could change the laws because you don't have voter and board member rights, but the reality is that I think that's a security. That's I don't know how else you say it. But nevertheless, we're going to get into that in just a second, because what we really need is a full investigation. Now, I want to say, John Deaton and DAI, Digital Asset Investor, have been at the forefront of keeping this conversation alive. And I want to make sure that I'm helping to participate and carry that narrative too, because there's something very wrong here. This was shared by Coining203, and shout out to you, my friend. And it really just lays down a quick layout of what it doesn't smell right. This does not pass the smell test when it comes to Jay Clayton, and certainly William Hinman as well. But I signed a petition a few weeks ago encouraging Gary Gensler to put forward an investigation into William Hinman and Jay Clayton. And I believe that was something I got from John Deaton. But I signed that petition, and I don't know what happened to it, but we do know that it made Gary Gensler's desk. And someone needs to really, really shine a very bright light on this. It's well documented that a hedge fund named One River Digital Asset Management made $1 billion bet on Bitcoin and Ethereum after Clayton's SEC declared they are not securities. Soon after, Clayton filed the SEC lawsuit against Ripple that crashed the value of Ripple and of the leading non-mine token XRP, alleging that it has been unregistered security for 7 years. Weeks later, One River ended up hiring Jay Clayton to a senior position at the hedge fund. Hinman is now back at Simpson Thacker. Now China has rolled out its own sovereign digital currency, the digital yuan, a means by which it intends to use to gain a competitive advantage over the Western crypto innovators like Ripple. It was activated on Alipay in May while Ripple battled the SEC lawsuit in the Southern District of New York. Now, listen, I don't know what it means, but something doesn't pass the smell test. And just like DAI says right here, we're ready to show the media and the politicians we're pissed off and fed up. And I am too. And John Deaton's a part of that too. Like I said, John Deaton and DAI have really been pushing this narrative for people to not fall asleep on this matter. There needs to be an investigation to expose the potential corruption here that doesn't look legit. And I think the only way to really get to the bottom of it is to, in fact, do a full investigation on William Hinman and Jay Clayton and the SEC. I would encourage everyone to politely tag, retweet, and tag this post and the previous post from Coining203 and Digital Asset Investor, and anything that you see regarding to this. Really tag as many media and Congress officials as you can. That's what I've done here, and I'm encouraging everybody else to continue to do so as well. So we're going to move on here, but look, former PayPal employees launched new cross-border payment network. The goal was to upgrade upon and replace the current SWIFT system of international transfers. SWIFT transfers currently can take days, while the rapid system would be instantaneous. I read this and I thought, gee whiz, has this guy ever heard of Ripple and XRP? I mean, geez. But then I have to tell you, I drill down on this, and then I get into the article, and it says Clovers was founded by the former PayPal team members with backing from Borderless Capital and BCW Group. It says here, the new system is designed to allow organizations to perform true real-time payments via stablecoins. Clovers will leverage the Algo blockchain to allow for transparent and cheaper payments. Well, it goes on here to talk, and if you go down into this article, it even says here the main features that Clovers bring to the table are the utilization of regulated stablecoins to make instant transfers, peer-to-peer transactions to lessen the risk in high-performance network that Clovers claim can handle 46,000 transactions per second, or more than 165 million transactions per hour. I saw this and I was like, man, this is direct competition for Ripple and XRP trying to do exactly what they've been working on doing, dismantling SWIFT. And I thought, wow, is this going to work out? But then I remembered Algo. And I was like, wow, you know what? That weekend we were at the Bitcoin conference. There was this picture that surfaced from Michael Arrington right here. That's right. The VC pirate. He got a little pirate flag there, you know. Shout out to you, Michael. Algo and XRP can live very happily together, he says. And then I think, wow, okay, it's Brad Garlinghouse and the Algo guys. Congratulations to them for hanging out. And then he announced in that same thing, Arrington Capital announces a $100 million Arrington Algo Growth Fund. And then I thought to myself, and this is on the day that I read it, and this is not financial advice, but when I saw this, I went home and I logged into Coinbase and bought more Algo. Not financial advice, just telling you what I did. And when I saw this, at first I thought, geez, I don't know if these guys are aware of what's going on. But then when I saw Algo tied up into it, Algorand, I said, wow, well then to me, this looks almost like a compliment to what Ripple and XRP are doing. And it certainly does appear that way to Michael Arrington's statements as well. Well, we're going to see more of that kind of compliment and interaction in just a second. But the CEO of Circle, Jeremy Allaire, who has really been a really leading person and team in this space for crypto and digital dollars. And he says we should be preparing for a broadband moment in crypto. That's right, when we went from dial-up to broadband. And what a moment that was for the adoption of crypto, right? And adoption of the internet. So we're about to see that moment again. He says we're getting close to using cryptos more widely to transact, he said, pointing to recent announcements such as the one by Visa to adopt USDC, which is what they have at Circle, as a settlement technology across its core network. Did you hear that? Visa's adopting USDC for settlement technology across its core network. Visa being one of the biggest payment providers on the planet. Just thought I'd throw that in there. PayPal, in another example, has said it will accept Bitcoin for merchant payments. Wow. As neobank and leading digital wallets to Venmo users of the world latch on to cryptos, this economy will scale rapidly, he said, with or without intermediaries. And this whole article is fantastic. I'm not going to read it to you, but the whole article is fantastic. Matter of fact, there was a spot down here that talks about blockchain 3.0, and you should just read this whole article. We got to keep moving for the sake of content, but there it is, ladies and gentlemen. The guy who's handling the USDC, which some could argue could become the next official digital dollar, to be perfectly honest with you, because it's absolutely legit. Now let's go ahead and just see what's going on here. 83 cents there is what's happening. Okay, so with that being said, we're taking a look at this now. Let's change gears and look at the most recent information on the Ripple SEC case. Okay, we know that the SEC won a little bit of an edge and got the 60-day extension for discovery, right? But we also know that they recently just got body slammed on another part of this where they tried to look into Ripple's lobbying efforts, and Ripple has won that motion to keep it under wraps. So Ripple is ahead of the game here, and it's not looking good for the SEC. However, while all of that is taking place, shudder to thought, it appears we see some motion out of Congress. It's almost like an oxymoron to suggest that. It's like jumbo shrimp. It's like productive Congress. It's like they don't even go together. Anyway, Maxine Waters announced the task force on financial technology that will study crypto and CBDCs and their impact in the U.S. politics. Well, of course. Will it get me voted out, right? Here's the other news. This is actual Congress investigates the implications of CBDCs and financial inclusion of central bank digital currencies and other topics. This part I want to play for you and let you hear this, and shout out to Rod Hop, who is an original Hall of Famer of this channel. Goes all the way back to when we were Investment Perspectives. Believe that. Yeah. Shout out to you, Rod. I appreciate you, my friend. And let's listen to this about 1 minute here. Listen to this.
In other words, our government should enumerate what standards a CBDC should meet and require that technology enables compliance with those laws and standards. To advance our understanding of CBDCs and to encourage the study of a U.S. digital dollar, Congress should take the following steps. First, address the definition of legal tender in the U.S. Code to to add digital currency to the current standard of notes and coins. Second, clarify the role of the Treasury and the Fed Reserve in the creation and issuance of a digital currency. And finally, encourage the Treasury and Fed Reserve to initiate a digital dollar pilot program. Enabling a central bank digital currency in the United States is a once-in-a-generation opportunity for this Congress. The time is now for Congress to amend existing currency laws and set the rules of the road for a safe, secure, and inclusive digital currency. Fortunately for us, the model for a safe and secure currency that meets all of these requirements is already in place. It is the model we use for cash. We do not have to invent a new model. If we can demand the security technology is appropriately leveraged to support this model, we can enable a digital dollar CBDC in the United States. Thank you. I yield back.
There you have it. I don't think you could say it any clearer than that. It sounds like we just need to include it in the definition according to this gentleman, and we can go ahead and move forward. Now, there was another gentleman that spoke after him when he got done to remind everybody that it just doesn't have to get done from within the government. He reminds them of the public-private relationship and how there could be more than one that satisfy the demand for a digital dollar as long as they meet the requirements and obviously full disclosure on the back end that they can be audited and regulated and all of those things, right? All I can say to you is this is a conversation that was not happening not too long ago, and it is now happening. And I do believe that politically, the way a lot of these people are motivated, they are seeing an opportunity that is once in a lifetime to bring something like this to the table. And if done right, they're all going to want to hold the trophy. Well, here's more pressure around the world that says we're about to see potentially that broadband moment for crypto that, in fact, Jeremy Allaire was talking about from Circle. The ASEAN Financial Innovation Network, AFIN, is partnering with R3, a global enterprise software firm, on a central bank digital currency Sandbox to enable banks and fintech companies to build and test CBDC applications. A regulatory sandbox, ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly what we need. Excuse me. When we look at this, I say to you, this is incredible because, we know that they don't have any confusion about what XRP and digital assets are over in the ASEAN region. There's no confusion there. And this talking about this collaboration with R3 made me remember this collaboration with R3. Around 100 Italian banks are now part of a permission blockchain network developed by R3. I will remind you that this relationship highlighted that they were about inter-reconciliation within the banks at this point of adoption. But the point is that the 42 Italian banks has signed to the private blockchain known as Spunta, which is R3's platform, which is building off of Corda, which is also tied into XRP as well, and Swift. So we're seeing the Italian region, we're seeing the Asian region connecting, and now we go back to remind everybody of this little piece of news from 2019, which is the announcement that Corda Settler from R3 does in fact use XRP. And that's what we're talking about here. Now, we know that R3 originally developed without a token. This is why they were automatically dialed into XRP, because R3 originally was partnered with Ripple and later broke that partnership up in court. They went on from there to develop XDC from Zinfin, and now the XDC token actually represents the R3 Corda platform. But nevertheless, it is a token that represents members on that platform. XDC is designed to work and complement with the back-end use of XRP. So really, not much has changed other than R3 realized in hindsight we should have a token for our platform. Welcome XDC. So when we see this last year, and this was 2019, this news, R3 launched its new core-to-settler platform using Ripple's XRP. But here it comes. In January, Swift announced a partnership with R3 where they are collaborating to test the core-to-settler, specifically integrate the GPI from Swift and core-to-settler. However, core-to-settler depends on the XRP token. The partnership puts Swift and Ripple, the two rivals, in direct connection. So there is that. Now, it did say in this article in the early days, they did intend to and do intend to spread this out to offer more than just the one digital asset XRP for settlement. And that's what they've begun to do by developing one of their own native tokens for the platform XDC. That's how my story is. That's how I understand it. What I can tell you is adoption is happening right in front of our face. And I think Jeremy Allaire is right from Circle. And you keep this kind of stuff coming up, and you keep moving us to a place where we could see a regulatory sandbox for CBDCs and other applications, especially in a region like Asia, where they are clear in a way settled on the matter of what digital currencies are and how they're to be used and treated in the system. This looks like a great opportunity to go ahead and get the world started working while the SEC tries to figure out which way is up. That's going to do it for me. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe and leave a comment below. Make sure you share with somebody you know and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Make sure you check out all the links in the description box and the comment section. They are trusted, vetted links. Be very careful what you click on out here. Those are products and services I use each and every day. I'll catch all of you on the next one.